Welcome also from my side to the morning session of the industrial water application, lumber drying. I am more than happy to present today together with my colleagues, Mr. Kent Dryvik Mentz, who is our product manager, as well as Mr. Hannu Salovaara, who is our sales manager for the Northern European region. We try to give you a brief overview about this sub-application. My name is Amin Hadian, and I am Application Marketing Manager at Danfoss HPP. As an overview of our program, we are not only limited to the wood application. We have a big number of other sub-applications that we cover. One of our major sub-application is the desalination or seawater reverse osmosis with the dedicated products, and also a big range of other industrial water application. For example, we are very active in different segments of humidification. It means general humidification or adiabatic cooling for rooftop chillers. We are also supplying our products to the flat panel cleaning industry, high-tech industry where a lot of care needs to be taken because all those displays have to have an end high-quality product. And then we have also the firefighting, which is called high-pressure water mist fire suppression system. Also in that industry, we are supplying our products. In the gas turbine industry, in order to increase the efficiency of the gas turbines, we are also supplying our products, which are being integrated in other equipment, and then it is being supplied to that industry. Last but not least, the hydrogen industry. And nowadays, you hear at every corner that sustainability, energy efficiency, renewable energy, and so on. And also for that application, we have our dedicated products that we are supplying. Talking about wood, yeah, why wood? Why are we talking about wood and think that it is a good solution? Because wood has got a lot of good advantages that we have, and I can just count some of those numbers. When we talk about the construction industry, we know that in many regions, especially those regions where we have colder temperatures in the winter, they prefer to use wood because of many advantages. Wood is in general absolutely clean. There are no mixtures in the nature of the wood. It is 100% recyclable. You can get it, give it back to the nature. You can form the wood when we talk about, for example, furnitures in any optical product that you would like to. You can make many different types of equipment by wood. Then you have, in terms of insulation, not only a good thermal insulation with wood, but also a good sound insulation in your buildings. And in total, wood has got a low carbon footprint, which is preferred in the industry by governments, by the individual people. Today, we will talk about lumber drying or dry kilns as one of the applications that you can realize with the high pressure water mist. But there are some more. I just want to mention them very roughly in order to give you an overview. And also, if you are confronted or if you are doing also other processes beside the lumber drying, you can feel free to contact us and to get the necessary information. On the top left, you can see the saw blade lubrication or saw blade cooling. What we do is just we place the water mist nozzles in a close distance to the saw blade, and all those fine water mist droplets are covering the saw blade surface. You achieve two effects. One is the cleaning of the surface of the saw blade, and the other one is the cooling of the surface, so which leads into the efficiency increase of the saw blade, and you keep it all the time clean. which increases the lifetime of the saw blade. On the top right, we talk about the dust suppression or dust binding. Everybody who is working in that area knows that wherever you are producing wood or sawing wood, you always have wood particles, dust particles inside the area. And in order to have a clean air, especially also for the employees working over there, and also to have a better visibility in the area, together with the designers of the process area, we place and install nozzles in specific locations, and these are distributing the water mist into the area. And the speciality or one of the advantages of the high pressure water mist is that you have very small droplet sizes, and these can bind or absorb the dust particles and suppress it to the air, to the floor. The next application that we have here, it's called heat treatment. This is rather new thermal treatment process where wood is heated to high temperature levels, above even 200 degrees. And by that, they try to obtain a decay resistance. And in these areas, we use water mist to have a consistent and fast cooling for that area. And this is also something that we are supplying our products to. And the last one where we want to deep dive in is the lumber drying and dry kilns or tunnel dryers. Before I hand over to my colleague, I just want to mention in my last slide that Danfoss high pressure pumps is providing its products and solutions since decades. We are in this business more than 20 years, and we have offered a lot of systems to the satisfied clients globally. And we know our tool, we know our instrument, and we would be more than happy to also give you necessary consultancies for your plant. And in the end, we want to achieve together with you to better conditions, working conditions, to efficiency increase, and also to save your money. And if you have any questions, just drop us an email, and we would be pleased to answer to your question. So Hannu, floor is yours.
Thank you, Amin. And welcome to this session from my side too. Lumber drying. The purpose of lumber drying is to reduce the moisture content of the wood, which makes this material more stable and stiff for construction purposes. If lumber is not dried properly, then it will cause a lot of problems. For example, you can, let's say, nearly explode the wood material. The drying process starts from the middle of the lumber and goes to the upper side of the lumber. That means that you need to have a lot of humidity during this process, and of course the heat. Typically, the fresh wood, there's from 50 to 60% content of the water, and the target is to dry the lumber to level 10 to 20%. When you start to dry this lumber, you increase humidity and you increase temperature. And there are different ways to do it to increase the humidity. For example, you can use steam or low pressure water mist or high pressure water mist. They all has different features, and maybe the steam is the oldest way or a little bit old-fashioned way nowadays. Low pressure water mist is also very common way to do it, And this high pressure water mist is maybe the latest invention in this area. Yeah, and we can go to the next page, please. Here we can see some example of drying kilns or tunnel dryers. They are different sizes and different purposes, I think that nearly every industrial country has these kind of dryers in their own country where you have wood. And it's even we can't see, normal people can never see these, but this process makes us possibility to use wood, because normally if you are trying the wood outside, it takes more than 1 year, and the result is not so good as we are using these industrial ways to dry wood. Next slide, please. Here we have some examples of or principles of drying kilns. In the left hand, in the down picture, you can see the water mist lying in this lumber stacks, flying there. The water mist is moving around the lumber by fans. The air is moving this moisture, and this right hand picture, it's a demonstrated picture. We have just sprayed this water mist into the chamber. There's no fans on duty at the moment. There you can see that the water mist is very tiny and it's flying up. It's like a fog there. So this is how it looks in real life. Next slide, please. This is one of my favorite examples I tell to the customers. If you are taking 1 liter of water and you are spraying it out with low pressure, it means that 5 to 6 bar. You can cover with the droplets roughly 30 square meter. It means that the size of the droplets are about 30 square meter. Many say that it's a fine, nice water mist, but we have noticed that the droplets, they are rather heavy, they are rather big, and they are raining down too fast. If you are spraying it out with high pressure, it means 60 bar or higher. Normally we are using 80 to 100 bar. Then the droplet area of the same amount of water is roughly 6 to 7 times larger. It means that with 1 liter of water you can reach over 150 to 180 square meter. Same amount of the water, just compare 30 square meter or 180 square meter. So it means that all this water takes part into the process because you have a large area of the droplet surface, and also the reaction time is very fast because of the area. So next slide, please. Here you can see some example curves of the drying process. In this left side picture we have a high pressure and right hand low pressure. This red mark in the start of the process, we can see that in left hand high pressure application, it's very short if we compare to the low pressure, which is much longer. It means that when you are heating up this or starting the process, in high pressure system, the moisturization is very effective because all this water can reach the surface of the lumber very fast, and no water is waste to the floor. Then we are going to stabilization. This means that you are removing tensions of the lumber. Again, you can see in this left-hand picture that it's much shorter, this stabilization, this blue area, if we compare that to low pressure, which is longer. I also would like to point out that the whole process, if you check the scale of the hours, which is this down axle, the whole process is much faster compared to low pressure. It means that the cycles of the drying kilns, if you compare the yearly basis, you can dry much more with the same chamber, because the cycle is shorter. Okay, next slide, please. Then some comparison of these different systems. CapEx means investments for steam. For example, nowadays steam is, even if the equipment and maintenance is expensive, also the energy of price of the energy is high nowadays. So it's rather expensive system to use. Low pressure system, of course, it's a rather relatively cheap to build up, but the results are not so good. And if we compare the high pressure system, we still say that it's relatively low price system. Control of water amount in steam, it's not so easy to control, because you are not controlling the amount of the water, you are controlling the steam level. Low pressure systems, it's difficult to control, because you have to spray a lot of water to reach some results. If we compare for high pressure system, you always know how much water you are spraying out. So basically you can even calculate beforehand how much you need to spray. Ramp rate, it's very fast with high pressure and also with steam. Low pressure system, it's due to big droplets, it's slow. The stabilization time, so it means that you are removing the tensions. It's very fast with the high pressure systems if you compare low pressure or steam, because you just add the needed amount of water and the process is fast. You can see the results immediately. So all these reasons we have seen that they are very beneficial to end users. So I think it was my part of this presentation, I suppose.
Yeah.
Can I? Yes.
I can take it from here then, Hannu. So let's move on and talk a bit about the different products and components that we from Danfoss high pressure pumps can supply to this type of application that Hannu just went through. Our main products would be our high pressure power packs. We have them in different versions. I will in a short while just dive into the one you see here on the picture. That would be our NVC units, but we also have others with and without tanks and in different configurations. We also have some customized units, so it really depends on the need from the customer. But I'll come back to this power pack here. Then we have our pumps. They're called PHT and PAH. They are, depending on the type of water that they are pumping, whether it's tap water or whether it's DI water, demineralized water. This is our main product, our core business, you can say. That's also indicated in the name, Danfoss high pressure pumps. The pumps are positive displacement pumps, meaning that the speed determines the flow. There's a linear proportion to between the speed and the flow. The higher speed, the more flow. They are made of stainless steel and consist only of a few parts, which makes them highly reliable and very easy to service also, and they have very long service intervals. There's also no oil inside. They are lubricated by the media that they are pumping. So there's no oil service either, or no risk of contamination for that sake. Then we have our different kinds of valves. We have our solenoid valves here, and we have, this is an example of, to the right, of a power pack valve, which is also sitting on this unit here. Our solenoid valves, called VDHT, we have them in a number of different sizes, ranging from 2 liters up to 150 liters a minute. We have them as single valves, and we have them as block valves, which you can see here, an example of. They are activated by an electrical signal to a coil, which then either opens or closes them. They're made of stainless steel, which makes them highly reliable and giving them a long lifetime. They also have a very high flow compared to the pressure drop. And in case of service, they can be serviced in line, so without having to take them out of the existing pipework. And last here, we have a range of different types of nozzles, micro nozzles, ranging from 3 to 340 liters an hour. So a rather big range here as well. They're also made of stainless steel. And combined, the power pack, including the pump, our valves, and nozzles, that combines to a good solution for this type of application. These are the key products to provide water mist, high pressure water mist for lumber drying. If we move ahead and then dive into this NVC unit that we have here, it's one concept with the same small footprint in 5 different sizes, ranging from flow from 110 liters an hour up to almost 10 times as much, 1,050 liters an hour, all in the same footprint here. It's the pump, which is sitting, you can't see it here, but it's sitting inside the tank, ideally fitted and protected. Inside the tank, it's fully submerged, and that's actually an ideal location for the pump. It also means that these units here, they have a very long time in between service. Normally for our pumps, we are saying to make an service inspection after 8,000 hours, but as long as you have proper filtration on your unit, which we have already built in, we see that these systems can run much longer without any problems, also more than 20,000 hours. So, as mentioned, we have a tank on board. It acts as a buffer. It also provides cooling for any recirculated flow in case the unit here produces more flow than what is needed in the application. then the remaining flow is just being recirculated here via the filter and back to the tank. And as mentioned as well, the tank provides a very good shelter for the pump. It's actually an ideal location for it. Besides this, another key feature we could mention is the power pack valve, which is sitting here. It makes or provides a very wide range of flow, meaning that any excess water that the application does not need, I mean the dry kiln does not need, will be just recirculated back to the tank. So this is a cost-effective alternative to using VFDs. Right, I will just share my screen because I want to show you this 3D animation that we've made of the unit. You can also find that yourself under the additional information that we have provided to you, so you can have a closer look on the unit here. So we have our filters installed to make sure that the water is has the right quality before it enters the tank. We have, as mentioned, the pump is sitting inside the tank. We have the motor sitting here. I don't know if, yeah, you can see my mouse. That's good. We have the power pack valve here to recirculate any excess flow. It's also a benefit if you have like frequencies or sections where you want to add water and moisture inside your kiln, and then you have periods where you don't need to add water. Instead of having to stop and go, in those frequencies, it's also possible just to keep this unit running, and in those periods where you then don't need any water in your kiln, it's just recirculating here. Right. Yeah, and we have also other types of instruments on board. We have level and temperature devices as well. All right, let's go back. I hope you can still see my screen. So as mentioned, we have 5 different sizes of this standard power pack here. And you can run it both as constant speed, meaning without frequency converter, or you can run it with frequency converter. The typical cases that we see most often, at least for this type of power pack here, is that they are being run with constant speed. And then the excess flow, that's where you use your power pack valve and relieve water back to the tank. But you also have the other option to use it with a VFD and then control the speed of the pump. As this is a positive displacement pump, it's quite easily to control it. It's just a matter of controlling the speed, then you also control the flow. And for some of our bigger units, where we have bigger pumps installed, we tend to see the use of VFDs more often. Super. Right, so you have different selections that you can do. Of course, there's the type of pump, which is determined by the need for water and for flow. Depending on the media, as mentioned, you would either go with the PAH or the PHT, They are from the outer dimensions the same, so that's not an issue, but it's one is for tap water and the other one is for DI water. You have different motors depending on how much flow and how much pressure you need, and we have different options for filtration. Besides this, you can also choose to have valves, directional valves installed directly on the frame, or you can decide to have them installed somewhere else in your application. So that gives you freedom to choose and set it up the way you prefer. The same goes for the control system. We can either provide it from our side, or we can provide it without, and then you can use your own control system if that's preferred for you. Here, as you can see, we have the dimensions. I said that it had a very compact footprint, and I think based on what you see here, that it is a compact unit. It also means that it's easy to install, both in new applications, but it could also be to retrofit it into already existing applications. And here you see a schematic of the process diagram, where you have your pump sitting in the tank with the motor on top. You have the option to choose the control box or not and use your own. You have your level and temperature device. Here you have your water supply and you have your filters. And here up here you have your power pack valve, meaning that either when there's no need for flow out here in your application, or at least not as much flow as the pump is providing, then it will be relieved here via the power pack valve, the relief valve as part of the power pack valve, or you can simply also open the VDHT valve, or the solenoid valve, which is also part of the power pack valve here, and then run pressure-free, directly circulating the water back to the tank in case there is all the valves here in the application, they are closed. All right, to sum it up, here are just some of the characteristics of our NVC power pack units. So what you're getting is one power pack concepts for a number of different applications. You can, as Amin mentioned in the beginning, you can use it for dry kiln, which we're talking about today. You can use it for dust suppression. You can use it for saw blade cleaning and heat treatment applications as well. Also within the same location, if you need. It has a very high uptime and very long service intervals. As mentioned, we see that as long as you have your filtration on board, this unit can run for 20,000 hours or more. We've seen that. It's highly effective. It covers a very wide area, which Hannu also mentioned earlier on, due to the high pressure water mist technology. And you are at the same time using much less water. It also means that your pipe work is much smaller than that, for instance, compared to low pressure systems. And again, that just means that this unit here is easy to fit in, both in new installations and also at already existing applications, making retrofitting, for instance. And as was mentioned before, it's based on well-known and well-proven in the field technologies and products that Danfoss has delivered for 20 years or more. All right, that was my input here. I think we have then a case. Hannu, will you
Yes.
present that? This is a customer case from Finland.
Yes. This is one case where the customer they would like to have more humidity out of the system, and it was very easy to expand the system because this is a modular system basically, and it's very flexible for different variants, and because of the concept, it's sold as a standard component, this NVC system. It's also easy for the customer to make these new applications. And this was one customer who would like to add this moisturizing of the drying kiln, and we have an old let's say our client who has made these systems for many places, fresh wind, and it was actually rather easy case for them to add the system. And all these feedback what we have got from the clients, many of them says that also the next system will be based on these high pressure systems. For example, I can also come a little bit back for my previous words of this high pressure water mist. Here in this picture you can see these gaps between the lumber in this bunch of lumber, and think if you have low pressure system and heavy droplets which are going down pretty fast because of the gravity, think how the moisture can go into these gaps if the water is so-called raining down. So if you are using high pressure system and low, very tiny droplets, so the moisture is moving all the time because of the fans, even through these gaps. So it means that all surfaces, even inside the bunch of the lumber, they are moisturized very fast and properly way. So that's why we have got a lot of good statement from our customers. And
Hannu?
Yes.
Actually, I just see that we have Fresh Wind on board joining us here for this session. So okay. That's nice. Quite awesome. Yeah, nice to have you here.
Yes.
Nice to have you here. Just go ahead.
Yes,
just
they are very experienced, and basically they could tell much more than me. They are more professionals in this area. But basically, when we started, as Kent mentioned, roughly 20 years ago, we have very few applications, and many were very suspicious of these systems. But during these 20 years, I'm very comfortable that this is a real systems and real need for these systems in lumber industry, all in many applications. And I think that because this is a modular system, it's very easy and safe even for the end user, because you can buy it locally, and this is an industrial product, so you can get even spare parts and service locally. And also, if your need is more complex, you need the special systems. We have these companies like Fresh Wind. They are planning the system, they are making installation, taking care of the service and maintenance, even if you want. So this is a rather safe system for the end user. Well, basically this is what I can say about this. And here's again one example of this unit. as Kent mentioned, this is a very robust system, and I have seen many places where this unit has been covered with the dust and dirt, and it's still running. And I can recognize this system that I can see only tiny piece of blue color somewhere. Okay, there's our unit. And it's very easy to service. Basically, you just need to take care of the filtration, that it's working okay. And also Kent mentioned this power pack valve, which you can see behind this manometer here. I think it's a very clever system for the lumber drying applications, because you can spray out very short cycles of the water, and you have immediately needed pressure in the pipes, and still, even it bypassing, it's going through the valve. It's not increasing the energy cost against the pressure relief valve, but it's going through the open valve. So basically, this is a very easy and clever system for these kind of applications. Thank you, Kent.
You're welcome, Hannu. So we have come to the Q&A session now, and I can see that we have some questions coming in. Actually, that's really nice to see. One question was how big this type of equipment is, and if we can share the dimensions. We can just jump to that sheet again in case anybody didn't see it. So these are the overall dimension of the unit, and I think also the picture that you just showed, Hannu, the real life where you can see a power pack installed, that it's not taking up much space. It's very very compact and easy to fit in. Then we have a question: if we supply a complete system or loose equipment. Yeah, so what we are providing is the power pack and the components, so valves and nozzles, and then the actual installation, the pipe work and placement of nozzles and so on. That's not what we are providing. That would be
Can I add also something? Yeah, it's also very important to recognize how much you need water, because it's amazing that how less you need water after you have changed to this high pressure system, because all the water takes part into the system. We always say that if you see water lying somewhere damping or some other problems, it's not planned right way, because the meaning is that you use just needed amount of water, not more.
Exactly. There shouldn't be water on the floor or anywhere else. It should be consumed by in the application itself. But that's sometimes what you see when you're not using a high pressure water mist system, that you would have a lot of excess water that is not being used. It's basically just wasted. Maybe a question for you, Hannu. How many systems do we need for a plant where there are several kilns or saw lines? I mean, that's of course hard to say, but depending on the actual plant, but maybe some general thoughts.
Yes.
What would you say?
Yeah, basically we recommend that, for example, if you have a saw line and you have a saw blade cooling application, there you have a different system, and for drying kilns you have other similar systems. So it's easy to for example, service case or something, you have the same spares in all systems. But in drying kiln applications, you can serve with one unit several kilns. It depends on your automation, but in if I remember right, it's something 6 to 7 is maximum drying kilns with 1 unit. But then you have to be, let's say, the system must be so clever that you don't spray same time for all kilns. And it seems to be rather typical that the moisturizing is needed in different drying kilns in different times. So you can divide these water spray to different drying kilns by using these VDHT valves. So it's depending how many drying kilns you have, but roughly 5 to max 7.
All right, thanks. But of course, feel free to reach out to us for any specifics. Then we can look into this if you have any specific cases you want to discuss. Then we have a question about what type of water quality is needed, and if drinking water is good enough. Yes, for sure. If it depends on what type of water you have available, but drinking water is just fine from our side. But it could also be demineralized water. In regards to water quality, we also have a question about the filtration. And there we have 10 micron absolute filters on board already installed on the units. And that is what we recommend to use to protect the pump and to ensure a long lifetime of the system. And then we have a question here about what information that we need from a kiln operator to be able to make a proposal for such equipment. Hannu, would you try and answer that?
Yeah. Typically the system builders take care of this, but if we would like to give some advice, that it means that we need to know how much water they are using nowadays. If they have some high pressure system, not ours, but typically these questions are coming from the clients who have low pressure system, and then it's let's say not so easy to say what is the real need, because it's much less than earlier if you start to use high pressure. But I would start from 50% less water or more. Many cases you may need only 30 to 20% of earlier water amount. It depends on what kind of systems you have earlier had, but in the high pressure systems the water need is very, let's say, small.
All right, thank you, Hannu. I think, are there any more questions? Just a second. And yeah, that one I have taken. Otherwise, you are also more than welcome to reach out to us after this session, of course. We are more than happy to help you out. So, in case there are no more questions, it seems not to be the case, then I would like to say thank you very much for attending. It was great to see that so many of you had decided to join us today. I hope you find it relevant for you. And as mentioned, there will be a recording of the session coming out rather soon. All right. With that being said, then I wish you a very nice day.
Kent, just one thing for all those people who know somebody else, just to mention that we have also an afternoon session, and this could be also possible to take place, so they can hand it over to everybody in regard of time difference in other regions. That would be great.
Absolutely, you're fully right. I mean, thank you. It's correct. We have another session coming up later today, so if you have colleagues that did not attend or did not have the option to attend this morning session, then let them know. Then they have the option coming up later today. All right. With that being said, let's call it for now. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.